Listen, everybody needs a fairy godmother, just somebody to look out for them. Some people call me their fairy smoke mother, others their internet big sister, but you can call me Hannah, the host of Smoke Sesh. So come hang out, let's light up and talk everything there is to life. The good, the bad, the ugly, the embarrassing. I've got a story for it all. Hello, hotties of the world, and welcome back to Smoke Sesh. My name is Hannah, your host, and I am so excited to be here with you all on this beautiful spring day we have going on. It is just truly... It's 1 p.m. in the afternoon and I've already had like the best day ever. I had horseback riding lessons this morning per usual. And it's so funny how sometimes you'll get that little worm in your brain, the self-depreciating, the self-abandoning worm in your brain, where when you're about to do something good, such as like horseback riding lessons, going to the doctor, going to yoga, eating healthy, whatever it is, whatever adult thing you need to do. There's like a worm in your brain that goes, but are you sure you really want to do that? Wouldn't it be easier and nicer to just stay at home in your bed, rotting on your phone? Doesn't that sound good? Whenever you get that in your ear when you're about to do something good for yourself, it's okay, it's normal, but that does not mean you have to listen to it. No, no, no. With my lessons being so early in the morning, and having to drive so far, I gotta be up like 7:30 to then be at the farm around 8:30 to then do lessons. And then I usually hang out and help feed all the horses, do cleaning, any sort of mucking that I can for the stalls, just because it's beautiful out there and I'm already out there. So like it's a full half day of, working pretty much. And having to get up in the morning and do that, of course, is just like exhausting, but also there's really nothing I'd rather be doing. So I'm so glad I did not listen to that little earworm this morning saying, text your trainer, tell her you can't come today, tell her you'll come a different time this week, because I woke up, I literally 10 minutes, made my coffee, put on my boots, threw on a hat, got in my car, drove out there. It was sunshiny, beautiful. The flowers are blooming. Every time you drive by a field in the country, it's just purple with honeysuckle. The horses were sunbathing and really living their best lives, enjoying it. I had a fantastic lesson. I've been writing on Elvis recently. Elvis is this little boy. He's such a little boy. He's also like extremely ornery and kind of mean. So I've been having to learn how to be kind of a go-getter, or teaching horses how to actually listen to me, being confident, a confident rider. That's something that I'm just really learning and honing in on right now. And I feel like I finally got a good symbiotic relationship with him, where he listens to me and I understand his quirks, where, if he gets a little ornery, I know what to pay attention to, or I know how to distract him, or I know how to get him to, turn his attention away from wanting to be a demon and actually wanting to be a sweet little angel boy that I know he is. So we really enjoyed our time doing that. And then me and the girl I do lessons with and my trainer, we were just standing around next to the fence, next to the horses. Each one was like coming up to us, letting us pet them. We were there for like 3 hours just hanging out and chatting and nerding out over horses. It was just so beautiful and so nice and much needed for my mental health. I forget how much humans are supposed to be outside. Yes, we are supposed to be outside. And if I can urge any of you depressed folk listening, because I know you probably are, because bitch, aren't we all? Like, let's be honest, aren't we all? Please get outside, enjoy the weather. I know it's a hassle. Oh, I gotta be in public. I gotta be around people. I gotta, actually walk out of my house to my car or whatever it is, pack a picnic blanket. I gotta do all these things. Ew, no fun. Yeah, it's hard. The earworm is like, stay inside, stay on your phone, stay indoors, stay in bed. But once you get outside and you get some sunshine on your face and you smell the breeze of fresh jasmine and cut grass, there truly is nothing better. Top 5 lived experience, lived moments is simply just being in the sunshine and putting your fucking feet in some grass, okay? So get outside. Your homework for this week, actually, I'm giving you guys homework. If you're in a place where there is sunshine, go to the park. Go to the park, go do a walk around the park, just one lap. It'll take you 15 minutes max. Maybe even if you don't want to walk, go, lay out a blanket in the grass, pop up a chair, sit down on a local bench that someone's loved one bought for them in memoriam. Think about them while you're sitting there. Think about you. Think about your life. Or think about nothing. The sun and the wind does have a habit of removing most thoughts from my head, but just enjoy. Be present. Connect to the earth. Connect to yourself. There really is nothing better. So, thank God I did not listen to the demon in my brain and I actually went and did what is good for me this morning. And overall, it's just been a really fantastic week. I've been having a great time. I've been doing the best that I can as I manage and move through life, trying to stick to my my goals and my aspirations, such as putting up weekly YouTube videos. I just uploaded like a little teeny tiny little thrift with me video. I know some people are like, please make the videos longer. Please make the vlogs longer. Don't worry, they will be. Right now, I'm really not holding myself to any restrictions, but trying to do weekly uploads, and I'm happy with myself for however long they are, but I'm sure there's going to be 30-minute to hour-long videos up soon, up shortly, so pay attention and wait for that. I promise they will be up every single Sunday at Hannah Marlene 444 on YouTube. I did a little thrift with me vlog. It was fun. I found some really good, honestly, really fun vintage stuff. And being at the thrift store is always like entering a different realm. So if you want to go have a little laugh, have a little smoke, and do some thrifting with me, you can find that there on YouTube. If you are a Patreon member, if you're ever thinking, I want to support Hannah directly, how do I do that? Of course, listening every single week is a fantastic way to do that. But if you want to go above and beyond, you can come join the Patreon. The Patreon is very affordable. I really made sure of that. I took down my prices last year, and I'll probably lower them again this year just so they're available for everybody. And I do post almost daily there. I do my Monday inspiration where I share photos and inspiration from my personal Pinterest account and my Tumblr account. So if you're ever curious what vibes I'm following, what I'm interested in, what's catching my attention, I do weekly updates there where I kind of garner inspiration for everybody. I do Patreon exclusive episodes where I answer every single question. Yes, every single question. And your questions can be upwards of whoever knows how long you can comment. Probably like at Patreon, you can really comment like 5 paragraphs worth of stuff. So just let me know what's on your mind. I'm happy to answer it. We've been having such a fun time, and I can also get a bit more weird and wild and vulgar on the Patreon, so that's always fun. I also upload the weekly vlog early, and every month I do tarot readings. I've been doing my inspiration that I'm finding around me. So things that I'm feeling called towards, whether it's colors, home goods, clothing trends. If you're ever like, what is Hannah spotting? I always do a monthly forecast. I do a monthly book club. I do Sunday Spirit, where we talk about different journal prompts or spells, rituals, things that are catching my eye and fueling my spirit. And I know there's more than that, but like, yes, we are having fun over there. If you want to support me, that's the best way to do it. Patreon.com/smokeseshshotty. And last but not least, I've been posting a lot on Instagram. I've been on my Instagram grind, mostly as a way of like scrapbooking. I know we talked about on the Patreon episode about this, about really approaching especially social media as less of a bragging tool and more of a digital scrapbook. Of course, I'm inspired by the baddies who came before me, and recently I heard Devin Lee Carlson talk about it, the baddest of them all, truly, where she's like, I'll post on Instagram at 2 a.m. on a Tuesday. I don't give a fuck. Like, I am just posting as a way to scrapbook my life and share my life and, archive digital memories. There really is no rhyme or reason. It's just, I like this photo or I like this vibe or I want to share this to my friends, and I don't care what time it is. I don't care about the algorithm. I don't care if it's in trend. I'm just posting it. And that's really what we should be doing. And so I've been trying to embody that vibe and that spirit. And I've been posting a bunch of recipes. I learned how to make homemade focaccia. It was delicious. I made a homemade focaccia sandwich as well. And then a lot of spring inspo up there, as well as my heart de-thaws from winter. And I return back to who I truly am, which is a beautiful little fairy. But yeah, I think that's really all I have to catch you guys up on. I've been spending a lot of time outside recently. Went to a local winery yesterday with some family and just, kikied with them, had a few drinks. It was really beautiful just to be in the sunlight and to enjoy some local businesses. I also went to the No Kings protest on Saturday. I worked a really late shift the night before, so I was like, I don't know if I'll make it, but my mom was working it. Shout out to a real baddie. She works with Boots on the Ground, which is a fantastic organization that has like local communities and local meetings to help you. Mostly it just gets communities together to fight on a local level to protect their community from ICE. So she was there volunteering, and I was like, okay, fuck it, I'll show up, I'll volunteer. And me, her, and my dad were there for a couple hours. But if you ever are, and this is just kind of like a consequence of being online too much, but if you ever are like feeling isolated in the way you think, or isolated going like, am I the crazy one for having compassion? Am I the crazy one for like feeling upset about all these horrible, awful things going on? No, you are, first of all, never crazy. And second of all, there are other people who are thinking this exact same way. And the best way to realize just how truly outraged and how close community really is when you think about it, to experience that firsthand, you will always experience that at a protest. I highly recommend, if you feel like you are out of control, or if the government makes you feel small through what they're doing, show up to your local protests, show up to your local community events, be a voice. Even just like your presence is enough. But it was so nice to be out there and see so many different kinds of people from different backgrounds. I mean, Republican looking men holding anti-Trump signs. It was nice to know, okay, maybe all the people are together, which in reality, of course we are. Maybe the people are together. Maybe it is us versus them, which it is, but it's nice to see that on a first-hand basis. It's a great way to garner hope, garner inspiration, and realize you do really matter. Your voice matters. Your impact matters. And if we want to stand up and make a change, it does start with us. So that was really beautiful and just inspiring all around. My mom has always taken me to protests growing up. I remember it'd be like Saturday mornings. She's like, all right, get in the car. We're going to the Capitol. Like, we got to go stand with the fellow teachers or the fellow unions, or just any, group of people that were being systematically punished by the government. She was always out there and standing up for. So it is nice to then stand next to her, because there's some crazies out there and no one's gonna fuck with my mom. That's for goddamn sure. Yeah, so overall, 10 out of 10 week. We have a full moon coming up, so I'm trying to mentally prep and prepare as best as I can, which for me personally just looks like getting my life in order, getting my life on track, taking care of my body, my mind, my spirit, my soul, as well as my home, and making sure everything goes as smooth as possible. I've been doing a lot of adult things too. Can we talk about adulting? Can we talk about the reality of adulting and what that looks like? I feel like when you're in your like very early 20s, I'm talking like 19, 20, maybe 21, you hear adulting and you think freedom. Okay, you think, oh, I don't have to listen to my parents anymore. I can literally do anything I want. It is crazy. That's why I went off the rails, because I was like, oh, I can do Molly on a Tuesday. Let's do it. And Wednesday and Thursday. I didn't know that was an option. Like, fuck yeah, I'm going to do it. Of course, I went off the rails. I had a little bit too much freedom, which, sometimes is good. You'll learn your lessons quick that way. Then like you hit the 21 spot. Maybe you're graduating from college. Maybe you didn't go to college, but you're finally like in your own apartment. You're learning about bills. Okay. Then the adulting goes from, not only do I have freedom, but also like I need a job and I need to pay rent. All right. So then it's kind of like this really basic level of adulting, which is I have bills to pay. Maybe you have a car payment. Maybe you have insurance payment. Maybe you have rent. And how do you manage that, and friendships and a job? Don't worry, with time you'll get there. So if you're stressing about it, just be patient with yourself. You will find a good balance. But now that I'm in my mid to late, trigger warning, late 20s, I'm about to turn 27, my view on adulting has completely changed, where it's like, okay, I have the freedom and I know how to balance that. I have the bills and I know how to balance that. Now I'm like, holy shit, I forgot about myself during all of those years. And now my idea of adulting is I need to take care of my body so when I'm 70 and 80, I can still get up and go to the grocery store and be cognizant. I've protected my brain. I've taken care of my bones. I've taken care of my muscles. It's a new weird way of thinking where now I'm a little bit worried about my body, and not in a, oh, am I skinny enough kind of way? No. I mean, that'll always be there. Just that's a systemic societal pressure. I really don't pay that much attention. Like I said, it's another earworm that I choose to ignore. Now I'm like, are my muscles strong? Is my back strong enough to carry things? Or if I'm going to carry something, is it going to hurt me because I'm not strong enough? How strong are my bones? Am I getting enough calcium? Am I eating enough fiber so I don't develop, I don't know, colon cancer or something crazy? And another one, my teeth. Ew. Not that my teeth are gross, but ew, the dentist. Gross. Hate the dentist. Oh, and I gotta go wake up 8 a.m. tomorrow and go get some fillings done. Going to the doctor can be scary, especially when you haven't been for a long time. And I hadn't been to the dentist probably for like 3 or 4 years because I didn't have dental insurance. Another adult thing you'll figure out eventually. Don't worry about it. But I hadn't been to the dentist for a while, so I was a little embarrassed to go at first. I was like, oh, they're gonna look at my mouth and be like, bitch, you. But it's just one of those band-aids you gotta rip off. If you go into any sort of place and you feel uncomfortable, voice your uncomfortability. I'm quick to be like, yeah, I haven't been here a couple years, sorry, but also like, please help me. That's why I'm here. And they will do so. I also found a woman only dentist, which completely changed my life because I didn't realize how weird of a creep my dentist was growing up. Why was that man in my mouth going, wow, you have a fantastic mouth? Girl, get out of there. So I found a woman-only dentist. They play, I'm not even kidding, like Desperate Housewives on a TV 2 inches away from my face while they're drilling into my teeth. It's great. It's fantastic. Am I excited to get my teeth done? No, not at all. But does it make it a little bit easier by advocating for yourself and going to a place you find comfortable and, dare I say, paying that $40 dentist insurance every single month so when you do have to get stuff done, it's not as expensive? Yeah, it's worth it. And it's a part of adulting that I'm now realizing and having to figure out. Taking care of my body, making sure my teeth are good, making sure my brain's good, making sure my, I don't know, skin cancer, bones, make sure they're not brittle, not going to snap in half. So then I'm setting myself up for success 50 years from now. It's just another phase that I'm going through, and I figured I'd share. It's probably something else that other people around my age are going through. Just like I need a good workout routine. I need a good, diet. I need to make sure I'm having enough fiber. I need to make sure I'm taking care of my teeth, my skin, make sure I'm not going to die of skin cancer. Fun little things like that. But we're attempting to balance it. And there's no better time to schedule all of your doctor's appointments practically in 1 week than spring. Okay, just get them done. Rip the Band-Aid off. That's how I did it. I was like, all right, we're going to the pussy doctor. We're going to the body shop, the body doctor, get a physical. We're getting the teeth done. Like, we're dermatologist, throw that fucking in there. I finally got to see my dermatologist and I was like, yeah, no, spironolactone is making me want to actually kill myself, and not in a fun, silly way. Not that it ever is, but like definitely not in a sarcastic way, that's for sure. And I was bleeding for 2.5 months. Not only was I going through the same hormonal things that were going on during my period for 2.5 months, but also I was losing my fucking mind. And I had acne. That's not fair. So she decided to put me on topical spironolactone, which I'm very excited about. So far, so good. And she was like, just go ahead and put that tretinoin on your back too. Fuck it. I've had a fantastic experience with tretinoin. To be fair, it's a very low dose and I use it very sparingly. She was like, you should use it every other day. Hell no. I know that's the doctor's orders. I'm not doing that. I did it once a week for 3 months, and now finally I'm moving into twice a week. And yes, of course, I'm getting a little bit more purging and it's a little bit drier, but I feel like I'm edging my way into it easier than if I was to just like go crazy with it. So far so good. My skin looks better than it ever has in my entire life. At least my face skin. My back is a whole different ordeal. And and I'm feeling good. I'm like, yes, you know what I did? I scheduled the appointment. I paid the fucking copay. I'm using my insurance to my advantage. I'm trying to take care of myself, and I am also reaping the benefits, which is very nice. But if you need a little inspiration or, somebody to tell you, oh shit, what's the next level in adulting? Yeah, it'll start with managing your freedom, then it'll start with managing your bills, and then it is managing your body. I'm very curious what comes next. So if there's any 30-year-olds, let me know down below. But from all my 30-year-old friends, it seems like 30 is just about the party. And thus I'm so excited to get older. Every year is a blessing. Every year I learn new things about myself. I become more comfortable in my skin. I become more comfortable in my body, more comfortable in my mind. And it is just so worth sticking around to find out. That's for sure. But wow, what a way to start an episode. Sorry, I've been yapping nonstop. We're going to do a speed round with questions. I'm going to try and get to as many questions as possible today. We'll see how that goes, but let's get right into it. I want to go to a club and go out, but I have no friends. Help. All of my club friends, or all of the friends that I go and I party with, are people I met while partying, not people I met like on Instagram or at work or on the street. You know what I mean? Best way to meet friends with like-minded interests is by doing those interests. The friends I've made that love horseback riding, I met at the barn around horses. I didn't meet them in the wild. So I think it's the same thing with like clubbing. If you want club friends, go out and party. When it comes to partying solo, of course, be careful. You don't want to go out, honestly, ever and get blackout drunk. That should never be the goal. But like going out and having a couple drinks at your local bar or your local club and feeling it out, seeing the energy, then you're not having to like, oh, but my friend wants to do this and this one wants to do this and blah, blah, blah. You're not waiting on anybody. You truly are just like doing your own thing. If you want to go dance for 4 hours, go dance for 4 hours. No one's stopping you. But it is the best way to make friends, by doing things with similar interests, by the people you want to bring around you. And I don't think you should ever wait around for somebody to do something with you for you to do it, because then you're going to be waiting forever. That's something that I learned very quickly, especially growing up, having my brother be so much older than me. 10 years older than me. I was kind of just like a little duckling tagging along wherever I could, but also it was like my parents and my brother were acting and living in a realm that was so far ahead of me that I felt like I was kind of trailing behind. And in that, it could have made me, maybe sheltered in more, but in fact, it made me really outgoing, where I was like, well, they're off doing their own thing, so I got to figure out what the fuck I want to do, Like, I'm just not going to sit around at home. Maybe I'm going to go do this. Maybe I'm going to go do that. Maybe I'm going to go walk through the forest by myself until my parents realize, oh shit, Hannah's not at home. Maybe we should go find her. Like, I was just kind of on my own time doing my own thing. And that truly is such a blessing. It's the best way to get to know yourself, to get to know your interests, and to have that true freedom by exploring and enjoying the world around you on your own. So if you're ever afraid of doing something alone, don't be, because you'll probably meet some like-minded people in the process of doing things that pique your curiosity. And also, it'll bring you closer to yourself. So go out, go dance, go have a good time. No one's stopping you but you. And I guarantee you'll meet some fun, cool, chill-ass people on that dance floor. Just be safe. Also, I'm working on putting together a call-in number. Yes, we're getting upgrades to the podcast. Don't worry. Nothing really is changing other than making your lives easier. I'm hoping to get a phone number together so you can call and leave your voice messages there. Stay tuned. I'm working on it.
Hi, Hannah. I hope you're doing well. I just want to say I love the pod. Before I really get into it, I've been listening to it for over a year now, and it has truly gotten me through some of like the craziest and like roughest times of my life so far. And I'm like so grateful that you do this podcast, because it's like I'm having a bad day and like there's always an episode waiting for me that will help me through. So my question is how to like balance life. I'm currently in art school full time. But then on top of that, I'm trying to have a social life, do extracurricular activities, have time to like, cook good food, eat good food, move my body, work out, and also just like free time. And I just don't have time to do anything, I feel. It's just homework, eat, sleep, repeat. And I know you went to art school for a time, and so I'm sure you kind of get like the insanity and the crazy schedules and everything. And I'm just really looking for advice on like how to like have balance in your life between your responsibilities and your physical needs and your wants and the need to like decompress and rest and recharge. But yeah, I hope you're having a good day. And
Okay, I love this question because I feel like it goes hand in hand with this other question I received on burnout and how I manage life. How do you maximize your time each day without burnout? I can never get to everything I need. Oh no, I burn out and I don't do everything I want. I'm going to tell you the honest truth about being an adult. You ever heard your mom say or your parents say there's never enough time in the day? There is never enough time in the day, and that is so true. So very true. There really is only enough time for us to do a certain amount of things. But the goal is, okay, I tried to do as much as I could, or I tried to make as much as I could out of the day instead of just letting it pass me by. So yeah, I don't know. I get less burnout with life because I accept the exhaustion, especially if I'm trying to do a lot of things at once or a lot of things in one day. Like if I have a busy day, such as today, it's like, okay, wake up 6:30, hit the barn. I'm there for 4 hours. I'm doing physical labor when I'm there. Like it's a full body workout when I'm doing lessons. Plus that I'm helping feed and I'm like having to be very mentally aware, very mentally sharp because I'm working with horses, which is like, who knows when they're going to turn around and decide it's your time. You know, the horses I work with are very sweet, but still you got to be 10 toes down, ready for anything. Then drive home. If it's like a day like today, there's people who are trying to kill you on the highway and you're like, what the fuck? It's 12:30. You get home, you have lunch, if you have time to make lunch, and then you sit down. I do about 3 hours, 4 hours of work here on the podcast. Then I got to go get groceries, grocery run, bring that shit home, unpack it, ideally then do laundry and clean up however I possibly can. Take some time to also play with my cat because I'm sure he's like, bitch, where have you been? And then cook dinner and then shower and then put the laundry away and then I'm sitting down to eat and then I'm cleaning up to eat. Like you see how it's kind of never ending. And yeah, that's exhausting. But also how beautiful to be able to do everything and to go after everything that I desire and I want, you know? To be like, okay, fuck it. I'm going to go try and fill my day up with as many things that I know will either set me up for success or make my life better in some sort of way. It is kind of, that's the payoff of the exhaustion, you know? And that means sometimes there's days that I'm doing nothing just because I've been going hard for 3, 4, 5, 6 days. Sometimes I need one buffer day to be like, okay, actually bed rotting day, or I'm supposed to be doing laundry today, but actually I'm not going to be. You kind of have to make peace with the idea that, you know, living your life, especially living your life to the fullest, is exhausting. And of course, you got to prioritize a little bit of downtime for yourself wherever you can, a slow day whenever you can, or even like a slow hour, even just like in between writing and then coming here to film. I'll take a simple hour to myself to change, throw on makeup if I want, make some lunch and just like dissociate for a little bit before I sit down with you guys. It's like I just need a small break. But the exhaustion is always worth it when you are leading yourself in a direction of a life that you love. And sometimes that means doing things you don't necessarily want to do. You know, maybe it's, oh, I gotta go to this family event, or I gotta go to this job that I fucking hate. But still, it's one step closer to that life that you want to live and that life that you do deem and desire. And at the end of the day, it is all worth it in the grand scheme of things.
Just want to start by saying I love the podcast. It really is something that I look forward to. And I tune in every week like clockwork because I've made it like part of my routine to tune in for real because it's just a girl podcast and I love that. My question is how do I learn to be okay with being by myself? I'm having, the past few months, my mental state has not been the greatest. I've been very depressed, and I'm noticing that every time I'm alone or by myself, I just feel fucking sad, and I'm just being real. Okay, I'm just being real. But I'm not, a struggle of mine lately has been how to fill my time purposely when I'm by myself, and how do I learn to be comfortable with being by myself. It's been a struggle of mine for the past few months, and it's been making me feel like trash, honestly, but I know that there's nothing wrong with me. It's just my fucking mental illness. But I have a tendency to like make my mental illness everything about me, and I'm trying to step away from that. Cause my depression is not, it's not worth it to throw away my life just because of my mental illness. So yeah, any advice you can give me, any insight would be great. And yeah, love you,
Love you. Oh my gosh. Okay, first of all, this is not something you are going through alone, although you are fighting this battle alone. This is something a lot of people are going through alone right now, because I think I'm kind of realizing that there's like great awakening is happening, and not in a sense of like probably how it should be fucking happening, but I think a lot of people are challenging themselves to actually understand themselves and be alone with themselves, instead of distracting themselves with their phones or distracting themselves with bad relationships, bad friendships, substance abuse, dissociation, whatever it may be. I think people are actually going, okay, no, let's get real. Let's look. I'm looking at the man in the mirror. Okay. And it's a bit awkward. I don't know who they are, and it's making me uncomfortable. And you can run away from that, or you can challenge it head on. So I'm proud of you for going, you know what? I'm a little uncomfortable being alone, and I don't know what to do, and it's weird, it's awkward. It's like meeting a person for a first time. I always say, you know, the relationship you should have with yourself should be like the number one friendship you have in your life, but also friendships take work. Think about the first time you ever met like a new friend. It's awkward at first. You're like, hi, I'm Hannah, like stumbling over your words. You don't really know what to say. You don't really know their vibe. You're kind of feeling them out. When you are getting used to being alone, you are also going through those same weird, awkward growth relationship conversations that you would have with another person alone. And I know it sounds honestly kind of like fucking crazy and weird, but it really is that same kind of like relationship building. And the more you're patient with yourself, and the more time you take to really commit to discovering yourself and spending time with yourself and facing those demons head on, the better and the stronger that relationship will get. The number one thing that I do find makes my depression worse is boredom. And I used to think being alone was a trigger of my depression, but now that I know myself more and I took time to understand my hobbies and know my like what I enjoy doing alone, I actually realized no, doing nothing and staying bored, staying in that boredom is actually what triggers my depression. So maybe that'll be a good realization for you. And a great way to really combat that, or to like not be so bored, is to try new things. Trying new things, especially alone, is the number one way to strengthen your relationship with yourself, to discover more about yourself, and to fight off the boredom depression. All right. And it's going to be scary at first. I mean, even just getting to know yourself is scary. I think a great way to kind of know yourself and know your internal conversation, or just sit down and, you know, get to know who you are on a very personal level. I love doing journal prompts. Every Sunday I sit down and have been sitting down and doing some journaling with myself, usually about different topics or different ideas or different, you know, just things that inspire me or things I need to release. And I usually share those on the Patreon, just like a list of questions you can ask yourself in your journal to get to know yourself better. That's a great way to do that very personally, very close and deeply and personally. But also just simply going, do I want to be the person that knits? And then taking the time to be alone, to drive to a store or walk to a store, to wander down the aisles alone, to go find, maybe I'm called to this, or I'm called to that, or I'm called to this pattern, to get those things, to bring them home, and then to try them on your own. It's a great way to fight off that boredom, to get to know yourself, to figure out if you even want to be a knitter. Maybe you get super freaking anxious anxious and you hate doing it and you're like, no, this isn't working for me. And then it's like, okay, that's okay. It doesn't work for me. Let's try something else out. But that's how you get to know yourself. I have spent a lot of time alone. I've spent a lot of unhealthy time alone, and I've spent a lot of positive time alone. The unhealthy time alone, I am doing absolutely nothing. I am scrolling on my phone. I am not even engaging in content that I find inspiring or fun. I just simply am like selectively dissociating and doing nothing with my time. That's being unhealthily alone. Not only am I avoiding the world, but I'm also avoiding myself in that time. The healthy aloneness is when I'm, off the screen, connected with myself. I'm daring myself to be alone with my thoughts. If my thoughts are unhealthy, I'm processing them. I'm working through them. I'm challenging myself to go a little bit deeper. I'm journaling. Maybe even I'm getting up and saying, no, bitch, I'm doing the laundry today. Even if it's something boring, it's like, no, I have to do these things for myself because I know they make me feel good. Maybe it's like, oh, I want to try a new type of food, so I'm going to go get the ingredients and cook it for myself. I've been craving this one thing, or I remember this from childhood, so I'm going to try and recreate it, or I want to do a silly little craft. That's healthy alone time. It takes practice. It takes getting through the awkward phase, pushing through it, and just trying new things for you to then get into a comfortable position. But if you fight to have a good relationship with yourself, it will set you up for success for the rest of your life. It is the number one thing I recommend for all of you guys to do. It is so good to have a good relationship with yourself. Not only does it bring in other healthy relationships, it puts you in a better position in the workplace to hold boundaries and to know what you're willing to do and not willing to do. It, gets you inspired to try new things. It makes you comfortable and even just like able to pick out an outfit that makes you feel confident. Like, a good relationship with yourself will go so much further than a good relationship with a romantic partner or a friendship. Of course, we want those things. We want to hold those things, but to be the best friend you can possibly be, and to be the best romantic partner, and to be the best sibling, and to be the best daughter, or whatever it may be, whoever you want to be, you have to know yourself. And to know yourself is to have a good relationship with yourself. Even knowing yourself where you're like, yeah, I am depressed, and being on my phone 24 hours a day is making me depressed. Maybe I'll try a video game I've been wanting to do. Or identifying and holding that identity of being depressed is making me want to hold on to it instead of releasing it. That was a big thing with me. I had to realize, which was like, no, I'm the depressed girl. It's like, well, yeah, duh, but also that doesn't mean you need to keep pushing yourself further and further in a hole. It's okay to get better. It's okay to, have been the 5150 girl. That doesn't mean you have to be that for the rest of your life. Whatever you want to be, you can be, but it does all start with you. And that might seem like a lot of pressure, but also how beautiful is it to know that with a little bit of work and alone time and commitment and kindness to ourselves, we can grow and blossom and flourish into everything you've ever desired. No one's going to do that for you. The only person who can do that for you is yourself. Girl, such a random question, but what are your thoughts on reincarnation? Do you believe in it or have your own perspective on that kind of topic? I mean, not necessarily reincarnation where maybe other people believe, such as like your whole soul transfers then into something else. Maybe it's inanimate, maybe it's not, maybe it's an animal, maybe it's a bug, depending on like the karma you've received in your life. I know that's something that some people believe, but I don't necessarily not believe that. There's a lot that I don't necessarily not believe, but I do believe that energy is an exchange. And if you think about your soul or your body or who you are, when we leave the earth or when we pass on, something has to happen with that energy. And whether it's a transfer of energy into the 12 things around you or the 2 things around you or maybe halfway across the globe, who knows? But I do know and I do feel in my heart that your energy must transfer somewhere. That's kind of how I view it. So whether it's like, okay, maybe I return back to the earth and that's where my energy stays. Or maybe I'm surrounded by people I love when I pass and then my energy transfers to them. Also, a lot of it is like reincarnation can be mostly just like how you live on after, such as like how people talk about you or the lessons that you give in people that then, keeps your spirit, keeps your soul alive. Who knows what it is? That's something for us to find out once we pass, which I think is kind of fun and beautiful, on to the next journey. But I do believe in a transfer of energy. And thus, I try and keep as positive of energy as I can, because I do think it could transfer to some bad things if you got bad energy. That's for sure. But I don't know. There's always options out there. And who am I to say it's not real, you know? I feel stuck between choosing an identity / aesthetic. How do I become all of them? Okay, you know what's so funny? I have a habit of like sometimes wearing the same thing on the podcast, which is usually just a matching 2-piece tracksuit, because it's just the easiest thing to throw on, especially when I'm in a rush. Love a matching set. But every time I go to film, before I put an outfit on, I'll go and I'll look at like the last 3 videos to be like, okay, what the fuck was I wearing? Or like, what was the vibe and how can I switch it up? If you're on Spotify and you're listening and you look at the thumbnails, if you scroll through them, my identity and aesthetic is drastically different in every single fucking thumbnail, and it kind of cracks me up. It's like one day it's pop diva Hannah, one day it's country cowgirl Hannah, one day it's like, I don't know, whatever the fuck this is Hannah, one day it's juicy tracksuit, one day it's this, one day it's like, oh my god, I love it. I love it. I think one of the things that I do very, very well, and I also encourage other people to do it, is do not box yourself in. I think we think of the identity and the aesthetic of it all as a way of self-expression, but me personally, when I've tried to box myself into an aesthetic or try and figure out what my identity is or what are the 8 things that make me, it's like, that is the best way to kill what your true identity is. Because the reality of it is, we are going to grow. We are going to change. You're not going to be the same emo girl you were at 13. I'm not the same art hoe girl I was at 15. I'm not the same rave chick I was at 18. I'm not the, hippie artist nipples out girl I was at 21. And that's okay. That is fine. But the reason I'm able to be those things fully and move on from them fully is because I allow myself to grow and develop and change, and I do not box myself in. Number one thing I can suggest to you is do not box yourself in. I know with the whole identity thing and wanting to understand ourselves, it's good, it's important. We should understand ourselves. We should know what we like and dislike. But also, what you like and dislike is sometimes the least interesting thing about you. Sometimes the way you dress is the least interesting thing about you. All that matters in the aesthetic department is, do you like it? Do you feel comfortable? And do you think it's a representation of who you are in this moment? What I am wearing today is probably very different than what I was wearing yesterday and the day before that. Sometimes I'm in a massive oversized t-shirt and I'm just kind of, doing my thing. Sometimes I'm in a really little fun dress. Sometimes I'm in a sexy bikini and overalls. Like, I allow myself to feel what I'm feeling and I dress accordingly. And it really has broadened the horizons of fashion and allowed me to express myself in so many different amazing and wonderful ways that I never would have been able to do if I was like, no, I am only allowed to wear these 3 colors and these 3 cuts of pants. That's like, it's just such a limiting way to live. And if that's what you want, if you're like, no, I have to only be this certain type of aesthetic, whatever, truly, honestly, I don't give a fuck what you do in your life. But I do think it also makes the transition out of it a little bit harder if you do want to grow and change, because then you're having this identity of crisis of, oh my God, but I'm not that person I was 2 years ago. Yeah, no shit, you're not that person you were 2 years ago. You probably shouldn't be that person you were 2 years ago. Growth, change, it's all so very important. Your identity can change in the span of 24 hours. Trust, I'm a Gemini. How I was feeling yesterday is probably not how the fuck I'm feeling today. And that can be very confusing for some people. It's definitely very confusing for my boyfriend. He's like, bitch, but you told me this one thing an hour ago and now you're saying differently. It's like, yeah, I changed my mind. I changed my mind. Sue me. Am I not allowed to? You know what I mean? But having that freedom allows me to really like explore new avenues, try on different things, try on different identities. Oh, if I want to be the horse girl, I'm able to merge myself and try and be that girl. If I want to be the skater chick, I allow myself to go explore that side of myself and see if it fits. If I want to be the artist, I allow myself to go explore that side of myself. The fashionista, I allow myself, like, you can't box yourself in, because it is a very, very limiting way to live life. And if I can encourage you to do anything with your life, it's to live it as broadly and expansively as you possibly can. The number one thing that I think makes life so fucking fun is the exploration of it all, okay? I talked about this in the last episode, where I feel like life is kind of like playing centers. You go from one thing, you try that on, you go to another one, you try that on. That's what makes it exciting. That's what makes it worth exploring. That's what makes you change and develop and grow, by trying new things. And I think trying to limit yourself to one singular aesthetic, or limit yourself to a certain type of identity, I think it really completely limits you from maybe going out and exploring sides of yourself that are more true to who you are. And it doesn't allow you to discover those things, you know? A lot of figuring out your identity and who you are, or figuring out your quote unquote aesthetic and who you are, is not from Pinterest, from mood boards, from other people. It in fact is from yourself and your lived experience. So if you do want to figure out your identity, or you do want to figure out a certain aesthetic, say you want to lean into it a little bit more, the best way to discover it, guess what? It's by exploring, by trying things on, by, do I fit in as the rocker chick girlfriend? Let's see. Maybe that was too awkward for me. Okay, well, let me try the rollerblading girl. Like, oh, I love it. You are a Barbie. This is your Barbie world. Bitch, this is your dream house. Make it however you want. If you want to be astronaut Barbie for a day, please, for the love of God, go for it. If you want to be scientist Barbie, go for it. If you want to be horseback riding Barbie, go for it. If you want to be mother Barbie, go for it. I don't care what it is, as long as you have the guts and the gall to go after everything that you want and desire. And also the guts to change it up when you feel like you've outgrown something. That's also so important. I'm going through my closet right now, and I'm selling off a lot of my stuff. If you want to buy it, my Depop Smoke Sesh Shoddy with 2 Ys. I've been uploading so much. Every week it's my goal to upload like 10 to 15 new things. And there were so many things that I was just holding on to, because I was like, oh, I remember that era of my life. Or, oh, I remember that thing. It's nice to have, but also it's like we need to make room for the new. And that was a big lesson I was learning, which is like, it's okay to get rid of it. It'll go to a home to somebody who's actually going to wear it. Then it gets like a second life out of it. And also it gives you space to explore yourself a little bit more, change up your life a little bit more, incorporate new things, see if those work. If they don't, then you can get rid of them and try new things. It's just nice to have that freedom of identity, that freedom of expression. And I'll tell you what, no one will ever be able to nail me down as this aesthetic or this thing or this or that, because I literally will always be changing, always growing, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
Hi, Queen. First, I just want to say I've been listening to the pod since 8th grade, so like 4 years now, which is crazy because I'm graduating high school in like a month, and I definitely should not have been listening to Smoke Sesh when I was like 14, but I was, and here I am. And that I love the pod. I love like the art you make. I think you're such an inspiration to a lot of young women, including myself. And I hope that you never stop doing what you're doing, because you're great. Like, I hope that you like release like a memoir in like 20 years. But anyways, I think I just need like advice, or kind of like a different perspective on this, because I recently broke up with my boyfriend of almost 2 years, and I realized very quickly I have been in relationships like all of my teenage years. I've never really been alone. I've never really like had to be alone, I guess, because I always had someone else, romantically. And that's been pretty heavy to like kind of cope with and really kind of like relearn myself, I guess. And I find myself getting bored. I find myself being bored all the time. I find myself like, I guess like it's almost like making myself or like kind of having these little like crushes on people, but it's like I don't actually have crushes on them. I think it's like genuinely like out of boredom. And it's like a part of me really misses, you know, having like a relationship, especially because I have such big life milestones coming up. I have, you know, my graduation, I'm moving for college. You know, there's a lot of exciting stuff. So it's like I know that I know that a relationship is not likely in my path right now. But it's like I can't help but to crave that, you know, and I just don't really know what to do. It kind of makes me feel sad. It's not like, oh, like I want to get back with my ex or I miss my ex kind of thing. It's just like I feel like I just don't know what to do with myself now. So some advice or like a differing perspective would be really awesome. Love you, Queen.
Love you. Well, for how young you are, it sounds like you have a really good head on your shoulders. It sounds like you have really good goals and aspirations and you know a lot about yourself, which is a strength and a power. So props to you for that. But I think this is something that a lot of my girlies, especially my age, my friends who are intentionally single right now, also deal with. The hardest part of being intentionally single is going, yeah, I could be in a relationship. I just know right now is not the right time. And knowing that you miss it, but also knowing and grappling with the fact that it's just not meant to be right now. You know, like you said, oh, you could distract yourself with these little crushes. And theoretically, you could get into a relationship with these little crushes. But is that going to be the best idea for you and your future and what's best for you in a relationship? No. And I'm proud of you for knowing that and being like, no, I was just bored, whatever. And right now is not the time. That's good. But it's going to be something that you deal with and probably will deal with the entire time you're single. The way to make it easier is you do need community around you. You know, it can be very isolating, but having friends to celebrate with, I know you're graduating high school. I know you have friends that are excited to also graduate and you'll be able to celebrate with them. Maybe family who are there to celebrate you. It's good to have that community aspect no matter what, even if it's outside of a romantic sense. And especially going to college, you're going to build a new community there. You're going to build new friendships. There's going to be new hot guys to go out and have flings with. But I think it's good for you to also grapple with this because it'll teach you self-control. It'll teach you self-restraint. And also, this is a fantastic time for you to build up that relationship with yourself, to, you know, feel the boredom and figure out what to do with it. So then you're able to kind of like be self-sustained, to also put more emphasis into your friendships that you have around you, to really uplift and celebrate those, or to go out of your way and make new friendships as you enter your college era. It'll give you the strength and power to do that because you kind of will have to. You'll have to build new community. It'll be so beautiful. It'll be so nice. But yeah, this is something that every single person deals with, which is like, damn, you know, I would like to be in a relationship, but it's just not in the cards for me right now. You know, I'm playing the long game. I'm waiting it out. I'm working on my relationship with myself so that I'm able to be a better partner in the future. Or I'm working on my relationship with my friends so that I'm able to build a better community and have a stable life if I do want to get into another romantic relationship. But since you said you've been in a relationship for so long, this is just your brain getting a little whacked out because it's new. You know, you've been in a relationship all of your teen years, whether it's a couple different boyfriends or one. You know, it's going to take a while for your brain to get used to it. But if you take the time to fill up those in-between moments with hobbies, activities, reaching out to friends and family that you haven't talked to in a while, even just exploring new sides of yourself, putting more emphasis into your last year of school so you don't have any regrets, you know, hanging out a little late in that teacher's room, you know, getting to spend time with them, really savoring your teen years a little bit longer so then you have no regrets. I think you're in a good place. This is going to be a little bit difficult to get over because your brain is just getting used to it, but ultimately you knowing A, I struggle with this thing, B, I'm just bored in certain situations, and C, I want to put more time into myself and my friends and my community. I think knowing that about yourself will make it easier going forward. But all I can really honestly say is stay strong. You're in a good position. You made the hard choice of breaking up with your boyfriend, which was obviously the right choice. You're about to enter a new era. If you take the time right now to really get comfortable in being alone and not so fearful of being alone or not needing to reach out for external validation, it will make your life so much easier in college. And also you'll be able to actually be present in the moment as you graduate, as you celebrate this last year of your senior year with your friends. I think this is a good position. It's just going to be a little bit hard, especially when you get bored. Number one piece of advice I can tell you for boredom, though, in your teen years, in your early 20s, is do not go down the wrong path. Boredom can have you chasing highs in very bad places, and the best thing you can do is do the exact opposite. When I was chasing highs, I was like, oh yeah, let me go do fucking Molly. It's like, no, maybe you just need to go on a walk in a park. Oh my God, I have this new favorite TikTok page and everybody clowns her, but she's like, I'm living for her. I'm sure you've seen them. It's like this older woman. She's a baddie with bangs, blondie. And she's like, sure, you could stay home and do cocaine in your room, or you could go on a walk with your friends. And it's like, that is so real, girl. Like, boredom does have us doing the worst things ever possible for ourselves. And if you are able to recognize boredom, recognize where it stems from, and decide to make the right choice in turn, you will ultimately have an easier and more fulfilling life. So just be aware of your actions, stay true to yourself, stand strong beside yourself, work on that relationship with yourself. The payoff will be so worth it. How to detach from the guy you're talking to and put yourself first? Well, it sounds like you're kind of living for him right now, and I need you to live for yourself. The reality of it all, if you were trying to think, okay, so if you're a single girl and you're like, I'm trying to bring the best partner ever to my life, okay, theoretically, you're trying to manifest your dream man. How do you do that? Is it by putting up with the shitty people around you? No. Is it by doing everything the men around you want you to do? No. Is it by becoming the manic pixie dream girl? No. You know what it is? It's by doing what you want to do and living your life how you want to live. Because the right person will fit in like a puzzle piece, easy fucking peasy. It's really how it is, you know? And it's okay to get excited about things. You're wanting to prioritize people. I don't want you to be like, oh, I'm excited to go on this date, but I'm going to say no because I've been spending too much time with him. It's like, no, if you're excited and you want to spend time with a person that you're falling in love with, then that is beautiful and wonderful and fantastic. But I don't want you to then like, oh, I'm skipping my favorite thing that I do in the middle of the week to go hang out with this person. Or my friends invited me out and I'm telling them no because I want to go hang out with this person. It's like, no, we have to balance our lives and keep them balanced. And if someone can fit into that catastrophic balance of it all and keep it balanced, then that is the person for you. Truly, honestly, you don't need to win people over. You are a nice person. You are a wonderful person. You are a lover, girl. I know you're probably putting your best foot forward. You're showing up the best you can. You've got a good attitude. That's really all you can do to attract the right person. You will naturally attract the right person, but when you're trying to contort your life to fit someone else, it's going to be awkward, it's going to be messy, and it's going to be just plainly not right, and you will feel that. You can try and push through it, but it probably still won't work out, you know? So just keep your life balanced, keep your life flowing, focus on you, focus on your dreams, focus on your goals, keep those hobbies intact, maintain those friendships, and if someone comes into your life and they fit perfectly and, you know, they want to make your life better or they want to fit in with the balance of it all and they respect your time and they respect who you are and you guys get along, you have chemistry, y'all have great bomb sex, fantastic, you've just met your husband. You see what it is, you know? You don't have to force connections. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But don't forget about yourself along the way. Someone asked, should I get a fish? Oh my God, girl. I mean, here's the thing. People think, and I'm the only reason I'm giving you a hard answer here is because I became a scientist this week. Okay. I've been dealing with something with my fish that I have been struggling with massively, and that is the water in my fish's tank. You think, oh, fish, $6, easiest thing ever. You just fill a bucket up with water and you put the fish in there and you feed them maybe once a day. Easy peasy. Hell fucking no. That's not how it is, actually. Actually, that's not how it is at all. Actually, you have to cycle your tank, and the tank has to be a certain parameter, and you have to build up a good healthy bacteria in the tank to then maintain the water, and you got to do water changes, and you got to make sure the tank's at a certain temperature. OMG, my tank cycle crashed this past week. I was having to do medicated baths for my fish because it was like too much ammonia. It was going to burn my fish. I was like, okay, we got to do medicated baths. We got to make sure all the other animals are fine. I got to go get my water tested. I got to get a massive test kit. I got to do 18 different styles of, I don't know, scientific evaluations to then, try and figure out what's going wrong in my tank. It's not, no animal is ever easy, and I don't think you should ever be around an animal with the intentions of their lives being easy, because it's going to make you complicit. It's going to make their lives not as good than you wanting to go above and beyond for that creature. Whenever I have any sort of creature in my life, I am always like, no, I have to go above and beyond to the best of my ability to make sure that that animal, that being, that species is living its best life. That includes my cat, which is like, making sure he's getting the best food he possibly can, that he's staying hydrated, that he has good healthy toys, that he has toys that are interesting to him, that I'm playing with him a certain amount of time in the day so he's feeling mentally invigorated enough, making sure that, he's going to the bathroom, and I'm changing the litter every single day, sometimes twice a day. Like, it's a lot of work. Fish are kind of the same, if I'm being honest. And back in the day when I'd had beta fish, it was like, thinking about then versus now. I mean, when I was like a child and I knew nothing and my parents knew nothing, the lives of those beta fish are drastically different. I don't know. If you feel like you have time and have the responsibility, I never want to deter you from having any sort of creature around you, because I think it can bring so much joy and something to look forward to. Like, my fish knows my voice. It'll hear my voice and it'll swim to the top because it's like, ooh, mommy's home. Like, these are sentient beings that you're dealing with, and you should never get a sentient being with the idea or the understanding that this should be an easy pet, because in all reality, no pet is ever easy, because there's going to be a learning curve no matter what. But I love my beta fish, and I love my tank. I love aquascaping. I love having planted things in there and learning how to take care of them. And even when I go through a hard time where it's like, what the fuck's going on with my water? What's going wrong? I'm then also getting to teach myself something new. I'm getting to learn something new. I'm challenging my brain. I'm doing like a little side quest trying to figure out how to manage this and how to make it good for this animal. But no, I do love my fish. I have a beta. I just got 2 new snails once I got the water fixed because we need to clean up crew. And then I had 8 tetras, but I only have 1 left because of when my housekeeper fucked up my fish tank when I was gone. And that's what I've been dealing with since. It's like, I've been dealing with the consequences of that. And it is what it is. I'm not going to blame her. But yeah, I personally love having a fish. I love my beta. I saved him from PetSmart. But I think the next thing I want to do, I want to keep this tank, but the next thing I want to do is get a sorority tank with a bunch of female betas. That's my next main goal. But it's never as easy as you think. But if you're willing to put up the challenge and you want something, a cute little creature around you that's, in the grand scheme of things, a little bit easier, compared to a cat. A fish is a little bit easier and more cost effective. I do highly recommend. It's just such a nice little bright life and light to my life that I really enjoy. What are your thoughts on making deals with the universe? Ooh, I gotta be careful with those. I gotta be careful with making deals with the universe, because I'm once again one who likes to change my mind very quickly, and I just made a deal with the universe and she's like, girl, I didn't forget. Some of my deals are like more manifestation, where it's like, I want a new car, I need a new car, and then my car gets stolen. And it's like, well, bitch, ask and you shall receive. Good luck. And I was talking about this the other day. my boyfriend's mom, she's like, your car's beautiful. I was driving her around. She's like, this is a fantastic car. I was like, I know. It was exactly everything I wanted. I wanted a Mazda CX-5 with tan interior and a sunroof and a fantastic sound system. Guess what was literally listed 12 hours after my car got stolen? This amazing, beautiful car. Was it a pretty penny? Yes, absolutely it was. But guess what? Universe is like, ask and you shall receive. Those are what I consider making deals with the universe, where it's like, if you want something and you're brave enough to ask for it, the universe will give it to you. It might not be on the timeline you were expecting. It might be 10 years from now. Same thing with my cat when he was going through his major health issues, and I was like, universe, take my left liver. I think you only have one liver. Don't quote me on that. Take my liver, like, please, just anything to make him healthy. She was like, okay, yeah, we'll make him healthy, but 6 months from now, you'll have to go through this over and over again, but he will get healthy eventually. You see how it works. It's never exactly how you desire, so you have to be really careful with what you ask for. And this is why I'm really careful with like manifestations or like full moon releasing or new moon manifestations. I am very detailed with what I'm asking. Sometimes it's as detailed as like, I need A, B, C, and D in this way and in this exact time frame. Like, I get very detailed because she likes to play games. She does. And it's so funny. It really does make me laugh when you look back on it. You will receive everything you've ever asked for. It just might not be exactly how you desired or wanted. So please be careful. But I don't necessarily make deals where I'm doing exchanges. I don't do exchanges because, you know, I try and be careful with the exchanges that I do. But I do know that if you're like, okay, I'm desiring something, if you take the initiative to release something, the universe will fill that gap with something better. So say you're like, this relationship fucking sucks. If you are brave and you decide to step away from that relationship, you'd be surprised how many things you'd been asking for that weren't coming true literally instantly overnight come true because you decided to remove something from your life. Maybe it's like, oh, this shitty fucking job or whatever it is, I decided to remove that from my life. Okay, bam, it immediately gets filled up with 8 things you were asking for, or maybe 1 thing you were asking for, and maybe not immediately, maybe 8 months from then. Maybe it's like, oh, this bad habit I've been doing, this really bad habit I've been engaging in, I decide to remove that from my life. Maybe you've been drinking too much or smoking too much weed, you decide to have self-control, remove that from your life. You've opened up a gap. The universe will fill it with something better. That's the kind of deals I make, because you got to be careful. You got to think about working with the universe the same way you would if you were holding a magic lamp with a genie inside. Everybody's seen those episodes where it's like, oh, you asked for a puppy. Now you have 10,000 dogs around you because you weren't specific. You see, it's kind of like trickster energy, and you have to be very careful with trickster energy because, yes, the universe does like to make a fool of us and be like, oh, bitch, you thought this is what you wanted. In reality, I know best, and I'm going to show it to you. So, yeah, be careful. But best way to usher in blessings is to remove something from your life that was negatively impacting you. And the best way to really receive blessings is simply by asking for them. But be careful. Be careful what you ask for. To be fair, I don't ask for a lot. But the things that I have asked for, God bless the universe for making them a reality. I'm thankful for every blessing that has ever come my way, including you guys here listening to this podcast, the biggest blessing of them all. How to deal with uneven sex drives in a relationship. My boyfriend always wants to fuck, but I only want to sometimes. That's okay. It is what it is. I don't think you should really look too far into it. If you are the person with the lower sex drive, just you should be the one to initiate sex. You know what I mean? Of course, like your partner with a higher sex drive, they want to feel loved and desired. You also want to feel loved and desired. And I'm sure he's trying to initiate all the time. Maybe you feel bad turning him down all the time because it's like probably often. I mean, some of these men's sex drive, it's like, I can't have sex with you 24 times in one day. My pussy will fall off the bone. I'm not even kidding. Like, not in a fun way. Not at all. So, like, if you're the person with the lower sex drive, you should be the person initiating. And it's fun to be the person who initiates, okay? You can wait until you're in the mood, until you're horny, and then you can roll over and start making out with him, and then guess what? You guys have bomb ass sex. It really is that simple. I also think it's very important for the person with the higher sex drive to not push it. Of course, you can try a little like, how you doing? Little check-in, but if you're not getting that reciprocal energy, like, just let it go, let it be. You'll find your flow, okay? I have found that my IUD has made my sex drive way lower, as well as just getting older and my hormones balancing out. Like, of course, I have a sex drive. I get horny, duh, hello. But it's not like every single fucking hour of the day. But when I do feel it, I do act on it instead of ignoring it. So then I feel like I'm getting it when I want, and he is also getting what he needs when he wants. But also, like, you as a partner, you are not in charge of making sure your partner's sexually fulfilled. Of course, ideally, you'd like to find a good little like flow state of it all. But if your partner needs to go jerk off or something away from you because you just can't handle it, like, that's fine. Who cares? You know what I mean? They can handle themselves. They can do their own little thing. They can have some self-care time. So then there's not so much pressure on you, because the number one way to kill somebody's sex drive or to kill the intimacy in a relationship is by putting pressure on somebody to have sex who just simply is not in the mood. That's the number one way to kill that. Absolutely. So, you know, if you've noticed, my boyfriend keeps poking me with his dick all the time. And I'm just like, I'm busy. I don't have time. I'm exhausted. It's not the right time. Whatever. That's okay. Have a talk. Be like, hey, I've noticed, I'm apologize if maybe I haven't been in the mood as often, but A, B, C, and D. So, you know, just wait until I initiate, and then it'll be sexier. It'll be hotter, you know, I promise I'll come to you eventually and come on you. Oop. And, you know, we'll have a good time. But also, like, be patient with me, be understanding, and, you know, I'll initiate when I feel comfortable or when I feel like I'm in a good mood. I feel like that's a good balance. And dare I say, some people, like, I think in a relationship, you should be able to talk about sex. Any sort of hard conversation is going to be hard nonetheless, but I think it's something that we need to be talking about more of in an intimacy level, even if it's like a situationship, whatever. If you're having sex with somebody, if they're going to stick their dick inside you, or if you're going to be puss to puss, I don't care what it is, whatever it is, mouth to mouth, any sort of organ to organ, even if it's just skin to skin. If you are going to be intimate in any sort of way, you should be able to talk about it with that person. Otherwise, that person is just not a safe person to have sex with. If you are not mature enough to have a conversation about sex, then you should not be having sex, dare I say. Because conversation is so important. It is so necessary. It is a fantastic way to build intimacy between two people. It's a great way to know what page you're on, even mid-sex. Like, do you like this? Does this feel good? These are things that we should be asking and talking about. It shouldn't be this like mental game of like, well, I hope so. It's like, no. The best way for somebody to have a good experience is by talking it through, asking them, communicating. Okay? Even if it is like, hey babe, my pussy's dry because I was at work for 12 hours. Valid as fuck. Okay? Talk it out. Say it out loud. He will then understand. Tell him, give you a moment. You'll come to him when you're ready, literally, and you'll find a good flow state. But communication. Communicate. How should I handle my partner getting angry at me? Ooh. Well, why are they getting angry at you? Like, they probably shouldn't be getting angry at you. I mean, listen, my boyfriend pisses me off sometimes. I piss him off sometimes. It is what it is. People around you are going to piss you off sometimes, or you're going to piss them off. Even if you're like best friends. I have this friend that I've been friends with literally since birth, and it's like, yeah, of course I know how to get on her nerves. I'm probably going to piss her off sometimes too. It is what it is. Okay. Those are usually things that it's like, okay, I can communicate in a very loving, kind, respecting way, such as like, hey, this is pissing me off. Or is it even worth the battle? Is it even worth saying? Or is this just like a feeling I'm going to have to feel and then realize it's not that deep? I'm just kind of like hangry right now, or, you know, whatever. They're just being annoying. I'm going to let it go. There's only two ways to go about it. If your partner is getting angry at you, yelling, raising their voice, the cold shoulder, okay, not saying anything to you, going ghost, those are not healthy communications. And those are very bad. Those are red flags. Absolutely. Those are massive red flags. Those are also something I need to be very clear with you guys here, because I was with a man who would do these things. Those are things you cannot teach a man to know how to handle. He needs to learn how to handle them himself. I had a boyfriend where if I pissed him off and I didn't even know I was pissing him off, I was just being myself. Oop. Anyways, he would like literally not talk to me for 2 days. And I'd be like, hello? Or he'd be like yelling at me. And I'd be like, oh, well, he just doesn't know how to communicate properly. Maybe I can teach him. No, bitch, you're not a therapist. They're not paying you and he's not listening. Okay, it's just going to keep happening and happening and happening and happening. And an emotionally mature man, immature, is an unsafe man and somebody that I just think is kind of a waste of time. Man, woman, whatever it is. Like, sometimes there are people with problems that it's not your job to handle or deal with. And those are things that they need to deal with on their own. And frankly, maybe you should tell them, hey, don't speak to me this way or I will be leaving you. And if you don't get help, then I also probably will be leaving you. See what the outcome is there. But no, because those things will, in turn, they're not treating you right. And that's going to cause trauma on your end. And in turn, I just don't think it's worth messing around with. Relationship should be two whole equal people coming together. And yeah, if you're with a partner, maybe you're going to piss them off. Maybe you're going to make them angry. They should be stable enough to come to you and say, hey, I did not like the way A, B, C, D. I would like it if E, F, and G. Okay. And, maybe you need to apologize, whatever it may be. That's very fine and dandy. But there should be, some reality in it, like, oh yeah, when I did do that, okay, I'm sorry. It shouldn't be like something they made up in their head. It shouldn't be gaslighting. It shouldn't be yelling. It shouldn't be throwing things. It shouldn't be hitting walls. It shouldn't be silent treatment. It shouldn't be them dissociating in a corner and not interacting with you and you're like, what happened? Those are all very unhealthy things and also massive, massive, massive red flags. Not worth your time. You're hot. You're young. You're sexy. You deserve a stable partner, period. Beautiful, fly, hot, and sexy. Zara Larson, I love you down.
Hey, Hannah and the pod. I'm sorry if there's any background noise, but I'm kind of tipsy on the toilet in a club, but I need to ask this question. So, I've been kind of stagnant in life. I've been putting in the work, applying to jobs, hustling, doing the inner work, going to the gym, trying to create routines. But I still feel like I'm really stuck in life. Yeah, it's just not going forward. But I think it's also the job market. And also the housing market, it's fucked. I live in Europe, by the way. Anyway, yeah, so my question is how to be positive and have a positive mindset in this kind of environment, because I notice that I'm like regressing to this really negative mindset that I'm never gonna find a job, I'm never gonna find a house, I'm always gonna be stuck, but I really want to move forward and flourish and create something good, So I'm wondering, how to change this mindset, how to stay positive when things are kind of bleak and live life, Thank you so much. I really love you and all the girls and everyone that's listening to this podcast. I really feel like we're a community, so thank you so much. Bye.
Okay, calling on the toilet of the club is actually sending me, it's killing me. But you know what? When the girls need help, they need help, and I feel you on that. You know what? this is kind of something that the place that you're in, okay, job market, housing, I know you're in Europe, but best believe that's also happening in America and probably many other countries too. So I think it's something that a lot of people our age are going through, and it's something that I was really frustrated with a long time, where I was like, I'm not moving. I'm not getting where I want to go. I'm not all of a sudden 10 years from now living my dream life. And that's because unfortunately, you are exactly where you are supposed to be. All the things you're desiring, you know, the dream job, the dream house, whatever it is. Maybe you want to move, maybe you want a family, maybe you're looking for a partner, whatever you're kind of like you feel stagnant on, it will find you in due timing, but you not receiving it right now just means it's not ready for you. You may be ready for it, and that's good, that's fantastic, but it's not ready for you. It doesn't mean it will never come true. It just means not right now, love, not right now. And I find myself in those positions when you can either become very angry and upset and going, well, it's not working how I want, so I'm going to kind of blow my life up, kind of like a toddler screaming and crying over a candy bar, but I want it, but I want it, but I want it. Bitch, next grocery trip you can have it, but not this one. You know? Okay, so now you're tipping over shelves and aisles and throwing things in the air and getting dragged out of the grocery store to then be grounded. Like, that's not how you want to embrace life. You can do that where you're like, okay, well, I'm not getting what I want, so I'm just going to become evil. I'm going to throw the blessings that I do have around me away. I'm going to do a bunch of horrible, awful stuff because I need stimulation in my life. Or you can be patient. And patience is never the fun thing to choose, but it is always the better thing to choose. I also find when I'm in places of stagnancy, it's because there are lessons I haven't learned yet. There are things and events and situations that the universe is waiting for me to tie up before it kind of brings in those blessings. Same way I was talking about, okay, removing things from your life, then make space for it. Not that you should remove everything, but sometimes there's things that you haven't discovered about yourself or about the people around you or about your habits or about your hobbies or about what your career, what you actually desire, that the universe is like, she's almost there. She's getting there. She'll get there. It'll happen eventually, but not right now. But you have to be patient with yourself. You have to keep doing what you're doing because what you're doing is good and correct. Having a good routine, aiming for goals, setting high goals, trying to go after them, trying to make sure your life is as balanced as possible. And really, with due timing, everything you dream and desire will happen as long as you keep putting yourself out there. Try and, keep yourself mentally balanced. Try and do your best every single day. You will be rewarded. I know it sucks when you're like, I'm ready to be in this place that I'm supposed to be. But it's not the right timing for you yet. And that's all right. It doesn't mean it won't ever happen. It just means not right now. And take a look at the world around you right now and ask yourself, or the environment around you, what you've created for yourself. Give thanks, be appreciative, live in the moment. That's the best way to really usher in those blessings as well. Sometimes the universe is like, you're just not grateful for what you have, and I'm not going to give you more until you learn to be grateful. I became very unappreciative of the world I created, and sometimes I have to be like, no, pause, bitch. You have this beautiful apartment that you've decorated all yourself. You really live your life exactly how you desire. You're able to be creative every single day. You get to interact with amazing baddies like you every single day. You get to just like go out and live life and take life by the balls and do everything you desire. And that is just so amazing and so beautiful. And sure, I want to do more of that. I want to achieve more. I want to go off and do bigger things. But for right now, what you're doing is good and important and impactful, and you have to be grateful for what you have. Otherwise, you are going to lose that positivity. You are going to lose that desire and dream in your mind of all these big things that you want to achieve. It's okay to be like, damn, I do feel stuck. But ask yourself, what around me can I give thanks to? What around me have I been overlooking? What around me am I grateful for that I maybe don't show enough appreciation to? what do I need to add into my life that maybe I haven't added in yet? What do I need to take away from my life that I haven't been brave enough to do so yet? I think those are the questions you should ask yourself instead of, why don't I have this thing? Because that's just a truth. And there's nothing we can do about truths, but there's a lot we can do about perspective. Perspective changes, appreciation, gratitude for self, for life, for environment, for friends. It will change how you perceive your life. And I think it will usher in your blessings faster that way. But it sounds like you're in a good place. Although you feel stagnant, it sounds like you're in a good place. It's just all with due timing. And I know patience is the last thing I want to do. It's like waiting in line for a roller coaster. And the roller coaster line's 2 hours long. You're fucking Disney. And it's a 4-hour long wait for, I don't know, Magic Mountain or whatever the fuck it's called. I haven't been to Disney in actually ever. I think I went once when I was 3. Anyways, those lines are notoriously long. And yes, sitting there and waiting is never fun. It feels like the line is literally never going to end. It actually feels like it's getting longer, and you're getting hangry and you're getting impatient, and the sun is beating down on you and you're sweating and you're like, what the fuck? And then you pause and you go, damn, but I'm at Disney right now and I'm wearing Mickey Mouse ears and I'm surrounded by people who are fun and here to have fun. And all of a sudden, bam, that line's over with and you are putting that seatbelt on and you are riding that ride. You see? So work on your perspective, work on appreciation, work on gratitude, and I guarantee those blessings that you desire will come faster than you ever could have imagined. But I love you and I hope you have fun at the club, baddie. But with that being said, I love you all so much. I hope you're feeling the springtime energy and I hope you take advantage of it. Like I said, your homework this week, I want to know about it in the comments. Tell me what you did down below, okay? I need a report back. Get outside, enjoy the weather, even if it's just opening your front door to let in some new air or rolling the windows down in your car as you drive to work. I don't care what it is. Find a way to celebrate spring, to get outside, to get some sunshine on your face, to take a deep breath of fresh spring air. It does have transformational powers. And I hope you find peace within yourselves this week. I hope you find joy within yourselves this week. I hope you dare to find goodness in the boredom and create something fun for yourself. You deserve it. But with that being said, stay sane, stay sexy, and I'll see you all so soon. Mwah.